I just want y'all to know that y'all know that I advocate for men and you know that I love women. A year ago, we were talking about a gender war. A year later, we're speaking of marriage being an option. So we've come a long way. I know some of y'all might not see it that way, but that's exactly the way it is. And I'm going to continue to promote marriage because I happen to think that the nuclear family is the answer. Now listen, this is so funny because I got a whole group of people over here on the left saying she don't advocate for men. She don't advocate for men. No, I don't pander for men. I don't pander for men because you guys are our leaders. You are in authority. I gotta tell you what's good, but I gotta tell you what needs to be worked out too. But guess what else? It's really not my job to do so. I'm just paying attention. But our women, I'm all about you all. Y'all have the same thing I got. We actually think alike. So guess what? I'm going to make sure that you all are the best version of yourselves. If you want to be a wife, I want to be the example for you. Definitely. And we're going to be creating wives. We definitely are. So if y'all want me to pick a side, no. Someone actually told me the other day that, you're quite balanced. And I am. And I'm going to add balance to this platform. Because right now, y'all continuously want to have a gender war. And SB Nation is not about that. But anyway, if you wanted to follow someone that has balance, that wants to advocate for men and love on women, and we want to be the best versions of ourselves, you come on over to SB Nation. And that's exactly what we'll do, along with godly principles. Hey, hey. Whoa, whoa. Hey, hey,
Yeah, baby. Wonder if all my bad decisions get accounted in the algorithms. No statistician could dissuade me from my bigger vision. I know my occupation's quite an unlikely place in this world to occupy and talk about upon a daily basis. Our information's predetermined by some biased business. We all in sermon to Silicon that push out lovely neighbors. I'm done with paper chasing, think I'm on to bigger banquets. This that full circle, new wave, energy on a Tuesday. Turn a blue day to a bright hue, yellow with a smooth A in hair. Extra fruit, the brand, you can't move me. The music is man, it's a con job, but this grand. Been blessed with a great hand amongst many that stank. And yeah, it took some hard work, but blind luck play a huge role. And if they say that it don't, when they feeding you fool's gold. And if I know one thing, the truth's home. Even if it's a tough thing to swallow, an even harder thing to hold and truly know without a doubt while on the globe. And even though that seems inherent, it ain't always so apparent. Dangle carrot, you ain't always gonna get it. But don't worry, it's a pretty February in a year with more to carry and more days is yet to come. Under the sun, taking the ferry to the city where the moment's extra pretty, like the people, like the idea that I keep inside my brain that isn't equal to the real world. All that stress ain't saving me fear though. I swear to God I'm trying, but they pushing their demons down my esophagus, screaming the easy life, what I want always. Praise made up holidays, tell me that love is the answer just to boost this economy. Buy more sell now, but I ain't following. I ain't a hollow man, I'm full of them fall winds. Take it all with a tall grin, and if you feel it, do it with me. And just sing what the song says. Take it all for what it is. It ain't all so big. So big, so big, so big. Take it all for what it is. What it is, what it is, what it is, what it is. It ain't all so big. It ain't all so big.
Go.
Hello, hello, hello. Hey, y'all. It's me, SB.
Dearly beloved.
Listen, I hope you all are having a very good day today. It is Love Lane, is where you showed up. And today is Lover's Day. Listen, my flowers are so in the way. Y'all can't even see me, can you? So let me move that up just a little bit. How about that? So listen, Mr. Boss has definitely taken care of me today, and I hope you all have taken care of your loved ones on this awesome day. But guess what? I hope y'all ain't wait for today to go show somebody some love, because that's tacky. I'm just telling y'all. I said it. It's tacky. You supposed, if you love someone, you're supposed to show them a little bit every day. Hug, kiss, thoughts. I don't know, whatever you got to do, but you can't just wait for February 14th to let somebody know that you care. So we got to hang that up and do better, especially over here at Love Lane. But anyway, listen, y'all know this is just a Tuesday night show. I've been walking around just thinking all day, and I'm very puzzled by certain things. I've been getting a whole lot of comments, y'all. Not necessarily bad comments, not in any way, but it's just comments based on a lot of things I've been saying. Some about the covenant marriage, some about just my mission to make women have value, to bring value back to the Black woman or any woman. And it just kind of puzzles me that we're here in this 2023 and I'm still getting that there are so many questions. It just lets me know how far apart we are or how broken we are. I live in my box. Y'all already know that. And YouTube is definitely bringing me out of my box. But before we get started, though, I want y'all I'm going to say hello to you guys. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about this show, because this is going to be the show where you all can actually, we're going to drop the link fairly early. And I want y'all to come up and ask any questions that you may have about what we've been talking about lately, because a lot of you have also had comments or asked questions in the comment section. And I didn't answer those questions, and I might go back later and I see them and I'm like, dang, I didn't get to answer that question. That was a good one or whatever. But we're going to be dropping the link fairly soon so you can ask all those questions. And I'm just going to kind of do a Tuesday follow-up, I guess that's what you call it. But again, I'm going to say hello before we actually get started. Truth and Purpose, how you doing? Oh, really? Oh, really? I don't even know what "oh, really" is, but I'm glad to see you here. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you're showing somebody some love today. But guess what? You showed me some because you showed up here today. So thank you. Blue Universe, happy Valentine's Day, girl. I don't know what you're doing. You got this whole month off. I know you cooking something. You mixing a drink. You're making a dessert. I know you're making somebody happy. So again, you two make me happy because you're here. Now this next one, Isagas, thank you so much. Happy Valentine's Day. Thank you for being here. Dr. Steele, what's going on with you? He says, you're advocating for bringing couples together. Absolutely. Bringing couples together. Isn't that how we got started? I mean, wasn't that what it was? I mean, once Eve was actually formed, wasn't that how it was? Bria, how you doing? Girl, did you kiss your husband today? I know you did, but make sure you kiss him on the head and tell him you love him. Shells, hello, hello, hello. Jones and for more. It's good to see you. That's a fact. I know you did, girl. Keep it up. Keep up the good work. Keep up the good work. Drake, it's good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Salam. Guess what? I want to hear about when. Oh, it ain't happened yet. Salam, it's good to see you. It's good to see you. Take heed to the message. Albagan Anawang. It's so good to see you. I am so glad that I had an opportunity to speak to you. I am glad you're here. And thank you so much for being here. Bolo TV, what's going on? Did you tell your wife you love her today and gave her a kiss and a big hug? I hope so. Hot Streak, what's up? What are you saying, Hot Streak? SB, you got that Felicia Rashad, Claire Huxtable energy. Thank you for that. Those are some good women. A woman. I love that role that she played. You think she was like that at home for real? Cora, how you doing? Cora, did you tell your man you love him today? Let me ask you another question, Cora. Cora, do you be telling your man how you be acting over here on these in this comment section? I just wonder. I'm just wondering. High Street. That. Okay. Thank you so much for being here and clarifying that for me. But listen, if I did not say hello to you as of yet, thank you so much for being here. Remember, when you're coming into the live, you're giving us a thumbs up. This is going to be one of those shows we're going to just talk. It's so many people that have so many questions about the things that I say. It's almost like it's like foreign. And I just wonder why, I wonder why. And then I had so many comments, so much pushback. Now, there's a couple things that I could take away from this. The first thing that I'm taking away from this is that they must think that I'm saying something that sounds really good, that could possibly change some minds or some hearts. And to me, that's an absolute, a confirmation for me that I need to go harder. I need to work harder at what I'm doing, because if I'm not saying anything, or if my message is not, hitting a spot, think people would probably ignore me, but y'all, I'm not getting ignored. I'm getting like beat up. Not really, y'all. It's all good. It really is. So, Corey, what you say? Laugh out loud. He times me out out on the other channel, but I'll tell him I love him tonight. But definitely do. Definitely do. So listen, again, they come at me crazy. It was today. I had a situation, and this is what I'm figuring out. And I told y'all a couple of days ago, I've come to a crossroads where it's like I'm a little puzzled about something. I've been in this space a little over a year, and I know that we have the manosphere and the red pill and all of that. And I really understand that this is a man's space. But when me and Mr. Boss plugged into YouTube, we just plugged into YouTube. Um, Individuals wanted to put us wherever they felt like we fit best. Now I have no idea why they decided to do that, because I would prefer and actually perform more as a singular individual, because what I believe may not be what someone else believes in. And I'm not trying to get them per se to change what they believe, and they're definitely not going to get me to change what I believe. Okay. So coming in, I have a very good husband. I've been married a very long time. So I advocate for marriage and I advocate for men. But some things that I've noticed along the way, and this just didn't start here a year and a half ago, it started way back, is that women are out of control. We make bad decisions. But I don't give up on a woman because she made bad decisions, because I was one time that made a bad decision. But what I did do and how I live my life is I'm very, very accountable. I'm very, very accountable for my life. And the things that I do that are wrong, I account for those things. I learn from them. In other words, I'm an adult. I am an adult, y'all. Being accountable is just being an adult. It said you did something, and then you go back and you look at every part that you played in that, and you say, you know what, I don't want that anymore. And that's actually what I did. And that is something that women do struggle with it. But guess what? I'm talking to women right now. I'm gonna stay right there. Women do struggle with it. So what I'm here for is I want to be an example on how to have a successful marriage. My husband and I have been, like I said, long time, but it's not a perfect situation, but we do enjoy each other, right? We do. I just want y'all to know we enjoy each other, even after all these years. But I was a woman or a lady, young lady first. So the message I want to bring to the women is I was you all. I was there. And I understand, well, how I evolved into being a wife. For me, it was just a natural thing to do. But I understand with all these outside influences, it's no longer a natural thing to do. You actually have to seek out that, being a wife, because the world is telling you being a wife is no longer cool, or you can be better off being independent and what have you. And then the messages that women are receiving here are, hate the man. Just hate him. He's no longer good for you. You no longer need him. Like Sherelle said, that women went one day of survival without needing a man, and now they no longer need a man. So that's how they think. But I'm here to tell you that's not true. It's the farthest thing from truth. And I'm learning that some people have no idea of the father. Some people have no relationship. Some people have never been taught that. And I'm not talking about church, y'all, because believe it or not, SB don't go to church. Don't let that scare y'all. I don't go to church. But I did find myself when Mr. Boss, I did find myself when I made an error in my life that I needed to account for. I did find myself needing to seek something that was bigger than me to get understanding of what I did wrong and how to fix it. Now, what I mean by that is I did grow up with parents, mother and father, and we did grow up in the church. But the only thing they told me about sex is you just don't do it. There was no nothing else. It's just something you don't do, So when I got pregnant, it was like, oh, wow, let's hide her. Let's hide her, so the shame was real and all that was real. So even the proposal to marry and all that stuff, it didn't matter, because I knew that I had messed up, but then I didn't know why. You have to find out why. So that's where my accountability piece came in. So I sought out the relationship. So when I met Mr. Boss, he was also someone I'm not going to say he was in error, but he was someone that sought out relationship with his creator. So he was different, just like probably now, ladies, it's probably hard to find a man that would seek out a relationship with Christ. I'm not saying that they're not out there, but it probably not many. But I think I want to read this comment really quick. Hot Streak says, SB, would you ever do an interview with Melanie King? I don't know much about Melanie King. I can't really say that I would, but I don't know much about her. And I hope I answered that question. I do know that Melanie King is a young lady. I think she's part of the Manosphere, but that's about the extent of what I know. I know she does a dating show. So I don't know. I don't know if I would do that or not. See, listen, let me tell you something about SB Nation. I'm taking a little sidebar right now. Me and Mr. Boss are trying to go up. We're trying to go take it to a whole nother level. And if the individuals that are on YouTube don't fit that level that we're going on, then we probably won't talk to them. We're trying to take it up another notch. So just to tell you, there's some things that are coming. And I'm trying definitely to send out a message to individuals that it is time for us to get together and get our minds straight. It's no longer, we can't live in chaos forever. Now, I realize not everybody will get this message or receive it. Not everybody will understand what I do. I understand that too, but I still feel like I have a job to do. So I'm going to continue on my mission to make sure that women get value back into their lives. Okay. So with that being said, I've been talking about that lately, and I'm gonna tell y'all my mission again. Y'all, everybody knows that Wife Ed is coming. In Wife Ed, I'm going to be teaching women that want to be wives. I need for you all to hear what I'm saying. Hear what I'm saying. Women that want to be wives. So in other words, even though this feminist movement has been going on for over 50 years, even though women are independent, even though women, quote, don't need a man, all of this stuff exists. But there's still a group of women that feel like that's not what they want. They really want to be wives and have husbands. There's women out there that believe that. And those are the women that I'm calling on. Those are the women I want to talk to. Those are the women that I want to be a part of Wife Ed. Those are the women that I want to seek out. Those are the women that seek me out. And I'm speaking to those women. But just by me saying that there's a group of women that is like this, I get so much pushback from men. It's like, no, you can't do that. You can't show them value. They should be saying this because it's almost like, how can you do that? All these years they've been living wrong, and you're going to come in here and show them something different and they're going to have value? Yes, that's what's going to happen. And it's almost like the fact that this woman that I'm talking to is going to become valuable. It's like it's like kryptonite. You know how kryptonite is for accountability for women. It's like kryptonite for a woman to be valuable to some men. I can't understand that, y'all. That's got me real perplexed because this is mostly, these are Black men. And I'm thinking, hey, wait a minute. I thought that's what we wanted. I thought we wanted a Black woman to have value. But are you saying, no, we don't? Are you saying we want them to remain 304s, single mothers, and just have no value and just continue to go throughout life looking forward to nothing, being independent, having no covering? Is that what we want? And y'all, this is what puts me at this crossroads, because I'm telling women, I need y'all to preserve yourselves. We're going to line up and do exactly what our Creator has told us to do to become wives. And we're going to wait. We're going to wait on those men that are husbands to come and seek us out, because we understand now that this is what we need for our life. We understand this now. Me being an old whorish woman, me having sex, multiple partners, walking, tossing salads, whatever it was that I was doing as a single woman, being sexually liberated is not working for me as a woman. It's not working for me. I realize that now. Now, what did I have to go through to realize it? Some will have to just go through minimal things. Others, it's going to take a while. And I don't even know who's going to actually walk away successful. But if we're adding value back to a woman, back to her life, what could be wrong with that? What's the fight about? What are we pushing back on? Where am I in error? What is this message that we're putting out here in these platforms that A woman needs to remain chaotic, or she needs to remain sexually liberated. What? Who's saying this? Where is this coming from? Why is this even real? Who says that because we went on a date, I have to have sex with you? Where's this coming from? That's not what I want. I want a husband. I want to be valuable. I want to have virtue. I want to be of high moral standard. I want to come into a space and people recognize me for being a lady, a modest woman, a meek woman, a woman who is soft spoken if need be, a woman who knows when to talk, when to talk. How about that?
Dearly beloved.
Why can't I be that woman? Why do I have to be the woman that a stat is attached to my booty? Why? So again, I'm not down with being that no more. I don't want that for these ladies who don't want it anymore. You will have enough city girls out there to please the nature of men that want that type of woman. And the ones that don't want it, allow them to come to Love Lane over here at SB Nation or to sign up for Wife Ed and it be okay. I went on a back and forth conversation with a man today. And all he had for me, and I'm not gonna call his name, but all he had, he just started out with insults. And I, of course, read through the insults. He said something about the black modern woman and the black church and all you doing, you a hypocrite and all this and all this and all this. And that as I read on, I knew this man knew nothing about me. Even he hadn't even watched my videos, but even though he was commenting on one, I knew that he had not watched the video. So I let him just continue on. I said, go ahead and let him just go ahead and do his thing. So after he said that, I had a simple answer for him. I said, it's your preference, because he was actually commenting on one of the videos about Austin Holloman and Passport Bros. So after he did everything and said everything he was going to say, my comeback to him was just, it's your preference. Do what you do. Just that simple. He couldn't stand it. Yeah, he couldn't stand it. He came back again. Another paragraph that was 3 inches long, going off. You a hypocrite. You supposed to be this, you supposed to be that. I kept reading into it. Said, this man don't know who I am at all. So then by the third time, I finally spoke up and I said, well, no, what happened is before I spoke up, I said, wow, such hate. It was so hateful, the things that he was saying. Just hateful. Couldn't even figure out where it was coming from. But again, I couldn't wear all the stuff that he was saying because it didn't apply to me. Just hate. So that next time he said something, I said, hey, listen, I'm a married woman, been married 27 years. I would never be a part of a sister code or a part of a sisterhood. I said, if you really want to know the truth, the sisterhood hates me. And when I said that, and then I went on to say a couple of other things. I said, again, though, it's your preference whether you want a woman in America or if you want a woman, overseas. I don't care. And then he goes on next, he comes back and he apologizes. He said, I'm sorry. Congratulations. But now, now he's getting the idea a little bit more of like, who's this woman? Who am I dealing with? So then he comes back and he says, now he's starting to give me stats, guys. 70 to 80% of this and 4.5 babies are being just stats. So then the next conversation I had with him, I said, can we just have a conversation? Do you have any thoughts that could carry a conversation with me so I can actually know how you feel? Besides all these stats that you're giving me, because I want to have a conversation with people. I don't want you to give me stats because stats tell me you don't know what you're talking about. You just regurgitating something that you heard. And I don't do that. I don't do that. The things I speak about, they're either life examples or something that I just know. Y'all don't hear me doing stats. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. If you want to do that, that's fine. But when I hear 30 different people on every side of the world coming up with these same stats, I already know that there's something wrong here. What's going on here? Do you believe what you're saying? Or are you just trying to win an argument? Because now, y'all, I'm realizing SB is being targeted. I never knew I would be targeted. Now I am being targeted. So now we got to have our stuff together because she might come back with this other stat. No, I will never do that. I'm just going to come back with common sense and a belief. And that belief is in God the Father. So if you can't handle that, a stat, you can't talk to me because I'm not going to ever go back and forth with you with a stat because it doesn't answer all the questions. Because who went out and said to any single mother or any single man and asked this question about how did you divorce, or who left who, or why did you leave, or why did she leave? Come on, y'all. This stuff to me is just not real. I'm living a real life situation. Again, I'm in the South. It doesn't represent the whole world, but what does? What does? Ever you got women over here that hate men, they're picking out stats that fit them. If you go back and plug it in, what you want to know, I guarantee you, because I've done it, that stat is not true. It is not true. Then you got another stat over here that says 70% of the women are single mothers. If you ask questions, you like, wait a minute, is this a divorced woman? Because if a divorced woman is no longer married, she's now a single woman. Are you including her too? Is a father in his life? Wait a minute, but who are we talking about? See, nobody's asking these questions. Oh, they may be, but that's not going into the stat. We just want to make you wrong so we can get past this conversation. So, again, this is what I've been dealing with. And it's okay because I want to have a conversation. So, this is why I'm here tonight. I just want to talk. So, anybody that has questions with me, that could took questions of me, that has a legitimate question, y'all, we can actually talk about it. You can ask the question. We can have a conversation because over here at SB Nation, y'all, we're not doing gender war. We're not warring. We're trying to put people together. And what I feel like we're missing is each other. Women don't know men. They think that men act and think like they do. And men don't know women. All you know is that we're emotional and we may change our minds at a drop of the hat. Yeah, but what else do you know about us? Sometimes you have to get to know a person to know how they respond. And again, I'm not talking to no city girls. There are no city, if there are no city girls in my comment section, there's probably no city girls even watching me. Because again, women that are part of the sisterhood or the sister code, they don't like me because I'm telling them to do something that's totally opposite of what they normally do. So we don't have to worry about that. So when people come at me with that kind of jargon, they're independent, they're this and that, I already know. I actually go back and forth with, I actually go back and forth with city girls almost weekly on some way or another. If it's not in my comment section, it may be on Krew season. It could be anywhere, but I'm actually going back and forth with these women or women of that nature all the time. So I get it. Men, I get it. But remember, my goal is this. I want to create wives so we can be better for the men that want to be husbands. So I'm actually advocating for the man, actually. But the woman is just out of control right now. And you know what? I'm assuming that there's some men too that just don't want to be men, because when I say things like God gave you the authority, you're the person in leadership. They quickly tell me, but the woman, but yeah, that's the same thing Adam said too. But I'm looking for you right now because I'm going to do my part. I'm going to do my part as making these women understand their role, but I need you to walk it out. So this is something that requires both parties, y'all. So don't think that because the woman needs work, the man can relax, because it doesn't work like that. We're working together. But for now, let me talk to Salam and see what he has to say.
Hi, security boss. How are you doing, my sister?
I'm good. How are
I, I
you?
I'm doing fine. I came here because I want to ask for some advice. I've been knowing this nice black woman. She's a truck driver, and I've been knowing her for about a month to 3 weeks. I've already sent her flowers. I took her to dinner, and I'm just asking for your advice. How do I make it with her? Any advice that I could get would be very helpful. And she does her routes from Los Angeles to Bakersfield, if you know where that is in California. And yeah,
Well,
I need, anyway.
what I would say is, listen, you're not new at this.
I loved her and that she have a safe trip. I have ridden with her many times, and tried
Okay,
to.
so listen, that tells me that you all have had several conversations.
Hmm.
I think you should
Oh,
just
yes, ma'am.
continue on with the communication. Definitely find out what kind of woman she is, find out what she wants. Have you had that type of conversation with her to
Yes,
find out what
she wants a man in her life. That's what she says. She wants a black
okay.
man in her life. And I, she was locked out of her apartment. I put her up in a hotel, and we spent the night together. It was very nice.
So,
Hmm.
Salam, what are you asking me? It sounds like to me you done
This
already
is the
hit a
advice
home
you can
run.
give me. What? How do I keep it going? I don't want to
You
lose her.
continue on. You're gonna continue on with what you're doing because you seem happy. You seem to be in a good spot. What would
Yeah.
make you stop? What would you gotta continue? You can't put it on the shelf. You got to continue to work at it. So you still have to call her and talk to her. You still have to let her know you're thinking about her when you're thinking. But it seems like to me you've done everything you're supposed to do. You be that gentleman that you are. You know how to do this.
Yes, ma'am.
You know exactly how to do
Now,
this.
now, should I call every other day or every third day and not call too much? I just want to handle it as carefully as possible. I don't want to blow this. She's
Okay, this is
59
what you
years
do.
old. She's 59 years old. I'm 70. She's,
Listen,
she's, she's perfect. She's
women
a
love
beautiful.
attention. Salam, women love attention, but you have to ask her that. I would say, of course, you don't want to smother her, but you need to talk to her and ask her, how, is it okay that I call you later? Is it okay that I call you tomorrow? Whatever. But listen, I got to tell you something. Me and my husband talked, and like, we used to talk almost 24 hours a day when we first got together, when we were dating. So much. We talked all the time just to get to know each other. So it was almost like 2 years of conversation within 2 months because we just talked all the time. I mean, of course, we worked or what have you, but we were always getting to know. We always wanted to be together. But you have to speak to her about that. Just be totally transparent and open with her with what your intentions are. Just don't freak yourself out wondering, are you doing something right or doing something wrong? The best way to figure that out is check it out with the person that you're doing it with. That's always been the answer. Go to the person that you're doing it with and ask them, am I doing a good job?
Yeah, she's available on Saturday nights. However, she does get up early in the morning and drives her truck from 5 a.m. to about 2 o'clock. She's getting a new truck. She says I can ride with her when she gets her new truck because the seat wouldn't push back, and I had problems with the seat being pushed up too far, and that kind of a thing. So
Salam,
it's
you don't
going
you don't
along
need
nice.
you don't need anything. You're doing exactly what you just trying to catch me up. I know that's what it is. You're just trying to
No,
catch me up on what's going
I
on.
just don't. Here's the thing, and I want you to understand this. I
Okay.
don't want to blow it. That's what I'm worried about. And I, 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 I want to make it work. And she seems to be happy with me so far. Um, I
You
don't
have
know.
to speak to her.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Be careful. That's where I'm at.
No, listen, continue the communication, keep the lines of communication open. Listen to what she's saying. Hear her. And continue to get to know her and
Absolutely.
just let the relationship, evolve. But pay attention, pay attention. It sounds like though y'all are pretty pretty good. It don't
Yeah,
seem like you need no help.
she got a 16-year-old son. Um, She says I'm invited to her house, and her son spends the night with his girlfriend from time to time. She says I can come there on those nights, but
At
when he's
16?
there,
Okay.
yeah, 16, yeah. But she says that when he's there, not so much. You know what I'm saying? You just be cool about it. And I told her, I said, "You're good enough for me to marry you." And then she made a comment to you, "But you don't know me." And I said, "Yes, I know you. I know you. Yes, I do."
So what are you getting? What kind of vibes are you getting from her though? Do you feel like she wants to take the relationship to another level, or does she just want to keep it as call you sometime and that's it?
Uh, I don't know. That's where I don't know. But
How often does she call you?
I call her more than she
So
calls
she
me.
Okay. So, I'm not going to let you play no games. I think you just
Here's
need
the
to
thing.
have.
She wants me to take the lead. She wants
Oh,
me to
well,
take
I
the lead.
mean,
So
talk to her. Talk to her. Have that conversation and let her know what your intentions are with her. Do you know what your intentions are with her?
yes, I know
Okay.
my.
Well, you need to sit down and have that conversation. If her intentions are the same and she wants the same, then you continue on with the relationship. If she says something that you don't like or your intentions are not the same, you got to let it go. Do you know that?
I know that and hadn't come up yet. This is the most amazing thing about this. It hasn't come up yet.
Well, you're not ready to bring it up. You just enjoying yourself, or
Oh,
what you're saying?
I'm enjoying myself, and I want to know what to do. That's all. That's why I signed up with the video with you tonight, just to
Okay.
get advice and what to do to make this better.
Well, listen, you got to be intentional with dating. If you have intentions with this woman, you need to lay it out there because you are an older man. You 70 and she's 59. There's a little age difference there. So you need to let her know. But if you're just enjoying yourself dating or what have you, and you don't really have any intentions, enjoy yourself.
All right.
Just
Well,
take it
I
slow and
wanted to
enjoy
make it
yourself.
work. That's why I called in. But I
All right.
appreciate what you told me, and you remember when I didn't have anybody.
I do. I do. That's what I'm saying. It's like good to hear. It's good to hear. But thank you
I
so
do
much,
have some hope
Salam.
right now, and
Yeah.
that's all. I thank
Keep
you
me
very much,
posted.
security boss. You look
Thank you.
stunning tonight.
Well, thank you. Well, keep me posted too. I
I
enjoy
will.
hearing this. Thanks. Bye bye. Wow, Salam. Oh, wow. I remember it so well when you were looking for a date. So this is good. This is really good. But anyway, guys, that has been one of the things is me putting or trying to have value or showing women how to get value back to their lives. So that has been a big deal. And it was been something else too. The other thing was, let me think about it. It was another something that, I was on about the covenant marriage. And y'all know I'm all about marriage. And I have found in these spaces that I hear it all the time. Marriage is a business. Marriage is a business. And there are parts of marriage that are business. But what me and Mr. Boft has is not a business relationship. Excuse me. It is not, y'all. If it was a business relationship, we would have been done a very long time ago. Very, very long time ago. Hey, yo, how you doing? It's good to see you. Hey, yo, are you showing that lady some love today? I know you ain't married, but you could at least show her some love and appreciation for all those things she's done. Sherelle, I see you too. Sherelle, okay, Sherelle, you okay? I ain't gonna say no more. But anyway, Team Fatty, how you doing? Complimenting a married woman. A lot of us lack awareness. Okay, what's wrong with that? Fatty, what's going on with you? Fatty, did you share love with somebody today? Your mom, anybody? Did you share love today? I want to know, Fatty. So anyway, getting back to this marriage has been one of those things that people are just like lost about, seems like, and everybody wants to make it a business. Again, marriage is the marriage that I have with my husband is not strictly business. You're working, okay? It's not strictly business. Mr. Ruckus, hello, sir. Is this JC? Is that you?
Yeah, this is JC.
You changed your name.
Yeah, for now. Yeah, for now. I'm planning on doing some content creation with one of my friends from our church. So we want to bring into a biblical perspective to with worldviews, relationships, politics, just life in general. We just see that there's a broken world out there, and we believe that the remedy is God Himself. So.
You just took my whole theme and put it in a bottle, right? Listen, let me
Happy
know.
Valentine's Day, by the way,
Thank
and
you
to
so
and
much
to
for
all the
that.
ladies out there as well.
Thank you. Listen, let me know what you're doing because you have the same objective that I have. It is a very broken world. And you will know this the more followers you build, the louder your message, the more it makes sense. You'll get all type of craziness that will come out the woodworks at you because, even today, this one lady, she said, I wish we could just I wish all the Christians could just go on an island and just be together or something to that nature. And I got to thinking about that. I was
Mm.
like, well, dag, I kind of wish all the sinful natured murderers, rapists, thieves, I wish they were the ones that actually could go to the island and allow me to live here
Mm.
in peace. Isn't that something to say? I'm like, really?
It is, and the thing is that we become so. I think, I mean, I can speak for just for my circle, right? As Christian, I think what tends to happen is that we start putting ourselves in a box instead of actually becoming what Christ called us to be, which is the light of the world. We need to be out there, showing the light. We just can't keep it for ourselves. And I think that's what one of the issues was. I think in this space was that it started with great intentions. What are the problems, what are the issues, what are the core fundamentals between uh relationship dynamics, and which was cool. It was great. I think people need to be aware of the issues, right? Because the only way you can attack the disease is by being aware that there's a disease in general. But then it started becoming more just for entertainment purposes, where I think we lost sight of, do you really want to fix this, or do you just want to be entertained? Because obviously you're going to have people out there that just want to be entertained, but you do have people out there that generally want a relationship. They want to have good company. They don't want to be alone when they're older and just die alone. I work in the healthcare field, and I constantly have to hear, the sad voices, on the other side of the phone, just wishing they had somebody to be with, and it's sad. It's sad. And it's crazy because I'm married now. I'm married now. We're gonna be for 8 years now. In May 25th.
Congratulations.
And thank you. And I met my wife in DR, but it's something. What's missing is people are just not enjoying each other's company. I think people need to work on themselves first, learn how to communicate with one another, because now all these talking points, you see all these dating shows and everything that's happening, it sounds like a very dry interview. Also, what do you do for a living? Also, what kind of man do you want? What kind of woman do you want? What can you bring to the table? Instead of like, hey, how did your day go? What was the highlight of your day? Do you have any plans for the weekend? Hey, look, let me schedule something on this Saturday night. I would love to take you out for a coffee, or somewhere to eat, like, so we can actually talk, and that's it. Actually make it engaging, make it comfortable. It's not like before you would have your fiance on the phone from like 8 o'clock at night all the way to 7 o'clock in the morning, walking around the kitchen looking for something to
Mm-hmm.
eat. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
I think we lack that now. We lack the enjoyment of each other. So
We definitely lack that. There's nothing organic about relationships anymore. Everything is, did he or she check the box?
yeah.
And if they don't check the box, they're not the one.
Hmm.
If they don't have this and this, then they're not the one. But anything organic, no. But that comes from this social media. That
Yeah.
comes from the lack of communication. We don't touch each other anymore. They
Hmm.
don't. You don't have to go on a date. Dating is not the same. It's all internet based. It's all, you know, it's just nothing organic about it anymore. And if we could
Yeah.
get back to relationships, it would be just like you said, just like I told the person before you. My husband and I used to talk almost 24 hours a day when we first met,
Hmm.
just getting to know each other. It was like, no, you hang up the phone. No, you hang up the phone. You hang up the phone. I know it's silly, but it happened, but guess what? If that happens, that person likes you and they're
Yeah.
enjoying your company. There's no question about it.
Exactly.
But what we're doing now, you don't know if they're playing a game or
Hmm.
they just want to have sex, or you have no idea. You're sitting wondering, is he going to call me? Is he going to text me? I've even had some say they don't even want a call. They only want to text. I'm
Mm.
like, that is not a wife.
Yeah.
Forget that. I mean, one of our
Yeah.
major, we have to know how to communicate. How are we going to
Hmm.
nurture if we don't know how to communicate? You know?
Exactly.
So you are exactly right. And I want to definitely put that type of, I don't even know what you call it, but it's definitely organic. It's definitely, I'm not even sure what we would call it, but
I
it
think it's
has to be
authentic.
very authentic. We got to put that back into relationships before a person gets married. How can you not experience that? You know?
Yeah.
And if I want individuals to be married, and I do, again, it goes back to what you're saying. We have to have the women, we have to work these things out. The feminist movement has done a number on our women. This is so true.
Yeah.
But it's coming from influence. So we have to reprogram ourselves to understand what our role is. And if nobody's telling us, and if nobody's saying it, then the women are not going to know. So that's where I come in at. I'm that woman that's going to talk to these other women about what our role is in being wives. And hopefully there will be men out there that don't want to check the boxes. There'll be enough men out there who want an organic or authentic relationship with these women. And at least we can make a difference in this space to some degree. Because it's
For
just
sure.
like you said, it's all about these darn talking points. You can't even have a conversation with somebody without them bringing up some talking points.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I can't do this. I can't. I want to communicate. I want to know what the real problem is, but they can't even tell me.
They
Mm.
liars, bro. They
They lie.
liars.
Yeah. They can't even tell us. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
You're a man, so you, I'm sure, get more because this is a man. I've heard a man's space, so you probably get a
Mhm.
whole lot of more communication than I do. But here, I get no. The communication is like it's mostly just talking points. Where if this woman would do this, this with this. No, how do you feel though? You know, what are you doing? I mean, how are you approaching this woman? Did you ask the woman this? Are we
Yeah.
trying to get to know this? And it's like nothing.
Yeah, there's nothing. Yeah, I think we lost touch of reality, I believe. Being in just like what you were saying, security boss, social media, um television shows, movies, is just everything is just in your face 24/7. Nobody, I don't want to say nobody, but majority of the people have lost that connection with one another and actually communicating with one another, where people are
And
now afraid to even approach somebody. A man can even no longer approach a woman and say, "Hey, how are you? My name is so and so. I would love to get to know you. Do you mind if I get to know you for a little bit?" We people don't do that anymore. It's sad. It's like I look at it from the outside. My wife and I, well, we have our little date nights every 2 weeks or whatnot. Have a little babysitter, and we go out, and it's like, we're just enjoying our company, having fun, having a little drink, dancing, the whole nine. And people come up to us, random people, every time. I promise you, security boss, they come up to us and say, "Man, you guys are a beautiful couple. How long have you been dating?" We're like, "No, we've been married now
we're
for
married.
7 years,"
Right.
like, and they're like, "What?" They're like, "Man, you guys look beautiful together." And
Right.
it's just, they see the glow, they see the enjoyment of, a woman enjoying her man, a man enjoying his woman, and we lost connection. We lost that, and I think the goal is to bring that back. And I commend you for what you're doing, because I was listening the other day and I was like, finally, because we could. I think to a certain degree, we like to get entertained, from time to time, go on these panels and everything, just fool around with the boys and everybody else. But then you have to come to a realization, is like, okay, but some people out here really do want genuine relationships. They really do want to start a family. They do really want to have a legacy. They really do want to have somebody to spend time with. Because I say to myself, there's something special about a woman's nurturing touch. Man, I rather my wife be hugging me than have my boys be hugging me. Something about my wife's touch. You know what I mean? That I'm like, that's my woman right there. So it's, we have to get back to the authenticity, the being organic, um, just being real.
Right.
Do we count the cost? Do you really want this? If you do want it, then count the cost and put in the work. It's like what my shirt says: no one cares, just work harder. Work harder.
Mm.
Work harder on yourself. Work harder on yourself. If you have a certain type of standard, then go out there, meet people. If they don't fall under your standards, then politely say, "Hey, it was nice knowing you. Great," and just keep moving along your way. Don't waste nobody else's time.
You know, Ruckus, I don't think I would care so much if I wouldn't hear it on these platforms because I've been talking to people for forever. That's just I've been gifted into doing that. But I have seen so many women that appear to me to be so angry and so beautiful women, so angry and alone and hurt that I'm like, okay, I know that God has made me a wife. Automatically, I know it. I mean, I asked this. Well, hang on, this is a long story. But anyway, I
Yeah.
know that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So if I did not share with these ladies, I would be wrong. I would be absolutely wrong because I absolutely know that a woman needs to be covered. And
Hmm.
I know that they're feeling what they're feeling because they're not in their femininity and they're not covered. And I think the times that we're coming into are going to be so detrimental to women that
Yeah.
they need to be covered. And somebody needs to say it really quickly so they can hear, hey, 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 listen, wake up. Wake up. This is not working. And then you got so many feminists out there that's saying, listen, I think I made a mistake. I think I went
Mm,
the wrong way. Let me fix this. So
yeah.
this is why I kind of geared myself to say, okay, it's an urgency behind this. I need to do this. And this is kind of like why I go so hard with this.
Mm,
And I'm a solution-based channel. I'm about having fun too, but something good has to come out of this, you
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So
For
that's
sure.
that's you know that's what I'm doing. And I want to ask you before I let you go, do you have any right now, because you haven't really started it, but do you have any solutions to how you're going to create your environment as far as your platform and changing some mindsets?
Um, the so far what we've thought about is getting our mentors, because we
Okay.
do have certain mentors from our church family, you know, older, seasoned gentlemen that have been married for 25, 30, 35 years, with children. They've been successfully married. So we want to get them on the platform and see what their dynamic has been in their relationship, and what kind of tools do they recommend for younger men and also women that are looking to be in the space. So we want to get, the men. We also want to get their wives involved if they're okay with that. We're still going to be, hashing that out, um, and build from there. Because the thing is that our church has a wide audience in when it comes to connections. So I think it'll be a good thing, because I think a lot of churches are afraid to speak on these type of subjects. They're afraid to talk about the sexual dynamics between a man and a woman. They're afraid to talk about prenuptial agreements. They're afraid to just talk about the nitty gritty of everyday life. They just kind of keep it surface level, and it's
Yeah.
like, no, 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 no.
Not
Jesus
anymore.
walked with the sinners. He drank with
Right.
the sinners. He didn't become one of them, but he was with them. He showed them that there is another way. Even to those that rejected them, he still showed love and hospitality and grace towards them. He showed redemption. He showed mercy. He showed grace. So how can we do that in a space that's filled with darkness? How can we come in and kind of hash it out? Because I come from a broken relationship as well. I was divorced prior to this marriage. For a marriage that lasted 6.5 years. And my ex-wife, she divorced. She left me. Not only did she leave me, but she also left my daughter. She abandoned my daughter. So I was a single father. And I took that responsibility as a single father and raised my daughter on my own. And I met my beautiful wife, which she was also a single mother. And we came together, and now we have a beautiful child. He's about to be 3 years old, and we're winning in life. We're winning.
Ruckus. Oh,
So,
this is so good to hear because I don't know how long you've been listening to me, but my testimony is sounds somewhat like yours because I am my husband's second wife also.
mm,
I was a single mom for a short period of time. He did have a son. So, I mean, he does have a son, I'm sorry,
yeah,
coming into the marriage. So it's just, oh, this is so wonderful to hear. I needed this. I am so glad that we had this Let's
yeah.
Talk tonight. I'm going to
I
keep up
appreciate
with
you.
you.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to keep up with you. I am. I don't know if we can help out in any way or what, but
Uh,
if FB Nation ever goes to a network, I would love for you to be on it. I just want to say that.
Thank you. No, I
So thank you
appreciate for
so
you
much.
having me on. I'm in a garage right now, so I'm not in my place. I'm moving in like about a month or two, so that's when I have my setup. That's why I have all this crazy green screen right now. So I have everything professionally set up, and everything, and do it the right way. So I appreciate you for having me on, security
Thank you.
boss. Many blessings to you and to your
Thank you.
family.
Thank you.
May God's grace and wisdom be upon you in the work that you're doing. There will be many attacks. The enemy does not like when people are about solutions, when people want to see people redeemed. So God is covering you guys. So
Thank you
many
so much.
blessings.
I
Okay.
received that. Thanks. Bye bye. Wow. That was a good one. Dr. Steele.
Hey, how you doing?
Dr. Steele, how you doing tonight? I'm
Hey, I'm
doing
doing
well. How about
fine.
you?
I'm doing fine.
Good, good.
Um, what really gets me, Valentine's Day is supposed to be a day of love, but we have some people, you know, you know, who who does who wants to destroy, the love image. Okay, you got these F boys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who didn't want a relationship, and of course you got um, the ladies who are claimed as strong and independent, and hates men and all that. And you know what's something? Those women that I referred to, I'm sure they were celebrating their little holiday yesterday. You know what that is?
No, what is that?
Valentine's Day. You heard of it?
No, no, no. I don't.
Yeah,
No.
Valentine's Day. It's a day where we are women friends to get together and celebrate. I was reading up on it, and it actually started in 2010, and the idea came from some fictional character um, back in 2010, where the ladies would leave their husbands and boyfriends and hang out with each other. What does that sound
Wow.
like to you?
A mess. I don't even understand it because what's the premise? What's happening? Why are they doing it?
I don't know. I know it sounds like some sisterhood stuff.
Well, of course,
I
you know
don't,
that, but we you know what? I'm gonna stop giving them a voice because today someone kept trying to put me into a sisterhood, and I just think they think every woman, especially every black woman, is part of a sisterhood or a sister code. And I've already told everybody, and everybody knows that I'm not a part of anything like that. But I don't want women to think that I don't care about them, because I do.
right,
I care about women, but listen, it's what's right is what's right, or what's wrong is wrong. I'm not interested in anything else.
right,
Either you did the right thing and did the wrong thing and now you're accounting for it, or you just right. So me being on code, you're never gonna get it. I don't even know what it looks like, So I wish women the best. And if they needed so much of a break from their husbands, I'm praying for that too, because you know what? I like my husband, and I think it's terrible to be in a relationship with a person, to have a covenant relationship and a promise to be with somebody and not like them. Don't you think that's like a terrible situation? Not being able to love the person that you with. That's like,
right,
you know.
right.
So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just
it
can't
is.
imagine.
Yeah,
Can't
I mean, it
imagine.
is. Yeah, it is terrible. I mean, I spent so many days myself, so many Valentine's days myself, lonely. And to those women who are out there celebrating this Valentine's Day, I look at it as a defense mechanism for them.
Well, yeah, sure. They don't want to be lonely because being lonely, you've experienced it. You've said it. You don't want to be alone. You want some companionship, and I
Right.
think we're made for that. We're built to be with other people. It doesn't make anything. It's nothing wrong with you, and we have to learn and deal with the situation that we're in for that time. But it's not one that you want. It's not that you seek out being by yourself. You would love to have a companion with you, and I understand that.
Exactly.
Um, I often wonder, I'm not going to talk about that because Mr. Boss hates for me to talk about
Hmm.
anyway. But anyway, he don't like that. But listen, I appreciate you so much for supporting SB Nation. And listen, Salam found someone to hang out with, if nothing else but for companionship. And I know you can too. So don't give up on that. Don't be
Oh, I
like,
will.
all these women here, this and that and this and that. Don't do that. Continue to do what you're doing. I don't know if pineapple is the answer or even Melody King, but still, go out and get, start walking and get an exercise program, something. I just know that there's somebody out there that would love to be your companion because you listen so well. It's like man is a listener. If nothing else, y'all got to be able to appreciate that because I do. So don't give up on it. This is Love Lane.
I won't.
All right.
And I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Scam. How are you? I can't hear you.
Oh, I'm muted. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you got that red shirt on. You showed somebody you love them today.
Neutral. I hate everybody, so. I'm a troll. We can't like people. No, I'm joking. No, people are cool. Come on.
So what's going on with you?
Question.
Yes, sir.
Because I think you started about a year ago, or a year and some change, maybe.
Mm-hmm. September 2021.
Okay, so before I even started coming on, what was your expectation? Like, what did you think this environment would look like, and what did you think the people were? Like, what were your expectations, and then what became the reality?
Um, hmm. The expectation, I don't know if I had one. My husband and I just said we were going to get on here and I was going to talk to people and share wisdom just like I did in my everyday life, far as, our business. I tell the story all the time. Men and young ladies would come in for jobs and we would end up having these in-depth conversations about relationships, life, or whatever. So I was going to continue on with that. Now, what I didn't realize is all this sets were there. I didn't know anything about sets. If that makes sense, I'm probably saying the wrong word. What would you call it? These little sectors, these sectors. I didn't know that exists. Like I said, when you plug into the YouTube, you just plug in and then you start talking. So I didn't know that, but I did know that I was going to be an advocate for men because I have a good husband and I knew I was going to be always pushing marriage. Now, the thing with women, I always talked to women, but women have always said to me, it's something about you being me. So I don't readily make friends with women. So I've studied women and I know women and I've seen them throughout my life and I kind of know who they are. I'm a woman. So initially my concentration wasn't going to be on women at all. It was going to be marriage and more so about men. And then you were like, you said it was before you came on, but it seemed like I remember you being one of the first persons on my platform. And I kind of seemed like that to me. And you used to tell me all the time, you was like, oh, SB, these women are some, and I tell you, no. I know a lot of young girls that are out there. And I do. And that's what kept me going because I do know a lot of young women that want to be married. So after a while, I think I started to see what you all were saying about these women because I didn't know women would be so brass and negative. And, I know they had the potential to be, but when you're talking about within a marriage, I just didn't think that could be so blatant, and then too, I thought people would be more nice, like if I don't know you and I have no idea who you are, my first response to you is going to be a kind gesture. It's not going to be, negative towards you. But then I start getting all that, from different people and a whole lot of hateful comments and things of that nature. So I knew then that I needed to be a little bit more singular in my daily or in my activities when I came onto YouTube. So now I'm understanding the picture quite well, but then somewhere along the line, I got pushed into the manosphere situation. And I think I came to you again. And I said to you, what is this? And you told me, you know what you told me. Anyway, you've been very helpful along the way if I hadn't told you that. But anyway, when I got over that and I still don't have a good idea about what that actually means, I've talked to you, I've talked to Sage, I talked to a few other people, Mr. Lee, I talked to a few other people about it, and I'm still not getting a good idea. But guess what's happening now? I said this earlier. I'm at a little crossroads, and the manosphere has been kind of being revealed to me a whole lot more. Whereas I came in, I thought it was more so just a place for men to be the best versions of themselves, to go and talk to other men, to learn and all that. I just knew that that's what it was about. But now I'm seeing something totally different. And I'm like, hey, what is this? What is this? So, I'm just sitting back gaining information. But again, it's kind of making me more so go to strengthening women and making them more valuable, because somewhere along the line, we lost our way. Women have. We lost our way totally. I'm still advocating for men because I want men to be leaders and in authority, head of household, and to be married. But I do know that we need to also allow women to be wives, and so they can actually see who they are, the roles that they play in a marriage, because they don't know. And it's like, and we don't know that we're supposed to be wives, what are we doing? You know, what are we doing here? So, and I hope I answered your question. Did I?
Yeah, no, I was talking to somebody the other day offline, um, and I was just like, fast forward, fast forward a year. I remember the conversations we were trying to explain our side. You were trying to explain yours.
Right.
No, it's Candyland. There's 5,000 wives just waiting to be saved. Like, no.
You be
But I
lying.
will say this: some people that do. Shout out to Love C.
Yes.
Her and another person, and then one of my best friends that I know who's married told me something that actually makes sense, but it didn't click till Love C said it. There is, and let's be real. There's some women who are already wives.
Mhm.
They're married already, or they're marriable. They're ready now. It's nearly impossible to find those. Then there's women that are out of control. Nation of Wigwam. They out there helpless. Then there's the middle ground of women who need some tuning or certain level of charisma or be as good looking as me or something to go step up to them or something. But there's a market of them, but they are probably going to appear and look like and almost act like the out of control women. You got to
Right.
be able to identify someone else. And I didn't like it because it was true. And I wanted to argue, but it was right.
Scam, I'm gonna beat you up when I meet you because I told
No.
you that 8 months ago. And guess what I say about him though? I'm kind of like you a little bit, but guess what I called him? Remember we said those are the willing ones. I say if they're willing, Scam, and you was like, no, 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 no. He was like, no way. I was like, no, there is a group of women out there because we got to remember there's a strong influence to be wrong out here, a very strong influence. And if that's all that they're receiving and there's no positive message on the other side, then what are we expecting? What is our expectation of these ladies? You know, we shouldn't.
That negativity is the man and it's on both sides.
Mm.
People can't see it because I'm trolling half the time. But I mean, trolling is a whole nother art. That's being a character, not actually showing character. I get it. It's whatever. But I was talking to people telling me how it's so bad. Is you go to a dude and be like, hey man, go talk to that girl over there. Divorce take half. Oh my God. Dude, we just talking about going and talking to her. 70% of divorces. Dude, how you get all the way to a divorce and you didn't know what her name is? What are you doing? Or go talk to that virgin over there. Well, you know, they all go through a whole phase. They change.
So Scam, that's what I'm saying. Do you think that we're at a point now where we can say marriage is an option, or are you still at the gender war? Because I know you didn't want to let it go.
What, gender war? I was never with the gender war thing.
I don't mean you, but I mean, you know what I'm saying.
Oh,
Because when you remember like 8 months ago, I said, we're not having any gender wars over here at SB Nation. You was like, I don't know, SB, they still warring. So I'm
over
saying,
here?
yeah.
That was actually, to be honest, that was the best words that you ever said and best thing done even for this channel. Was saying, look, there is no gender war over here.
It's not. It is not.
No,
it's way time for communication and conversation, and that's what you're here for. You definitely been helping me, and I think I've shared that with you. So
no, I'm saying I see it to the point where it's like, and I can plead guilty. I mean, I'm a troll. I got a job to do, but I see it as a panel. There's a woman pops up and there's a man. She says, well, I don't know about submitting to any. Before she can get anything out, they heard submit. Not gonna submit. Then they just start boxing. You gotta submit to the man. These men don't make no money. Y'all where the. And I'm like, this was 2020, 2021, 2022. Like, come on. The same boxing match over the same talking points. At least put some trolling in there and make it entertaining.
Listen, don't nobody want no trolling anymore. I'm seeing people right now wanting you to be, I ain't gonna even tell you, but they want you to be this studious guy that they know that you are. You was talking real serious one day on one platform, and somebody came to me that was like, I wish Scam was like that all the time. And I was like, what? Did you tell him that? And it was like, no, but I was like, oh, okay. So they watching you, Scam. They watching you. They are watching you. But they did say that. Just to be honest with you, somebody said that to me. I forgot where you were though, but you was being all serious and you was talking facts and Oh, I'm gonna tell you what you said. You talked about how you grew up in, is it Virginia, and your parents and people up the street, you knew them and the neighborhood was cool or something of that effect. And you just laid it all the way out and it sounded great. And they was like, oh God, I like why he don't talk like that all the time?
The
And I'm like,
reason being, somebody saying I troll too much. Hey, come on now. But no, as much as I might say, because there's always the very destructive people. We need to build the Black community. We gotta. Okay, what you? Let's talk about you. And the very people who are saying it are the ones tearing it down. They're the very ones. They're like, okay, we'll talk about Black community. I know what that looks like. That's what I grew up with. That's my norm. Black men, Black women, 2 cars in the driveway, green grass,
right,
people walking to school with book bag,
right,
adjustable basketball. That's my norm. That's what I know.
right.
A year and some change, not one person has hit me up on Instagram or just, hey, can you tell me about? Only one person said one comment in a year and a half. That's Chicago Rilla. Curious to kind of know what that looks like.
Well, they be
The
talking
rest of
about you.
them,
They might not come to you, but they talk. The women, they saying they watching. But anyway, Scam, listen, I got another caller down here. I gotta talk to
cool.
Trey because Trey be on something over here. Is you in the grocery store, Trey? Listen, Scam, don't go too far away. But you know, you know, you're welcome here at any time. You know, I'm gonna be tomorrow over there on Cruise Season 10:30. I don't know if you ain't got that late or not, but we appreciate you and
Can
listen,
y'all
keep coming
can y'all
through.
all just can y'all just get along, or you got your boxing gloves for cute?
No, I'm good. I'm put them down. Remember that Friday when I did my download? I was done. I'm no longer fighting. I'm no longer fighting. I'm done. So
If you need trolls, you know where to find us.
I got you. All right. Thank you,
All right.
Scale. Bye bye. Trey,
Hello,
what's
SB.
going
How
on
are
with
you?
you? I'm
I'm
doing
good. How are
good.
you?
I'm doing good. Trey, listen. It's some comments about it's some comments about 3 lives ago that I hadn't forgot that you said. I said, wait till
Go
I
ahead.
see
Go,
it.
go.
Okay, I'm going
Let me
back.
have it. Let me
I'm
have
ready to
it.
have it. SB, all the married women be following behind me. It's been several of them. How long has that been ago? It's been about 3 lives ago. I said, no, Trey didn't say that because you was saying something about, I think it was the passport. Oh, sexual tourism. You was like, yeah, them married women, yeah, they be following me. They just be running behind me. I said, listen to Trey. Okay. Then last night, was it last night? Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go with no on this one. Oh Lord, I'm gonna cut his head off next time I see him. Cut his head off next time.
I'll tell you why. I'm not the biggest proponent of marriage,
No, I can tell.
and but my situation is a little bit different. I did want to get married, but at that time I was in a different place in my life. But now, and I hate to say it, but now, if you make a little bit of money, your life changes a little bit, and you see things differently. And what I've noticed is, the little bit more of money you make, the harder it is to trust people because you don't quite know why they're there and what they want from you. And it's very difficult to sort of dissect the person and try to understand what are you really here for. And I find it most times most of the difficulty comes with women and dating women. What do they actually want? Why are you actually here? Do you like me for me? Which is why I have a 10 free date challenge. And I've never been able to get through 10 free dates. I've got to the third date, and then the hypergamy kicks in, and the woman wants to know, okay, when are you going to spend some money on me?
Woo.
At some point in time, it's going to kick in. When
Wow.
do you want to spend some money, man? I have 10 dates. I have this, it's on the notes in my phone, and I have 10 dates, and we always start with at the park, or if she has a dog, we'll do a doggy day, something that doesn't cost any money. And I'm doing it on purpose.
Right.
It's on purpose because are you here to actually get to know me, or are you here because you're trying to see whether or not I can be your sugar daddy? Which one are you trying to figure out here? So for me, marriage is just not one of those things, and especially so here's one of my biggest gripes, SB, because I'm not against marriage. I do think that marriage is a better option, just like Passport Bros. I think it's a better option, but I'm not completely sure it's the solution, right? But it is the best option. For me, where I struggle with this is I haven't found one thing that marriage gives that I can't get in another way. right? Like everything that maybe I would get out of being married to a woman, I could outsource it. I could literally pay somebody to do it for me, right? So I don't quite understand what benefit I would get from it, right? But I do know that I have friends that are going through divorces right now, and we had one that we were dealing with a few days ago because he was on deletion watch because he just couldn't take the stress of going through a divorce after finding out how much alimony he's going to wind up paying. So I don't quite understand why I would put myself in that situation, but I do understand that there has to be a positive in it. And it's one of the reasons why I watch you because you have experience. You've done this for a while. So I'm trying to. I'm hoping one day SB's going to say something. And I'm going to go, ah, that's why I need to get married. Okay, cool. Now that makes sense, right? Because if you're not overly spiritual and overly religious, right, then and you take that aspect out of it, I don't quite exactly know what do I need it for, right? I don't need it to take care of my daughter. My daughter has a trust that's set up. She's good. She's set. She's good. I don't need it to take care of the people that I love. I have life insurance and they're beneficiaries on it. They're going to be fine if anything happens to me. I don't I don't need it to do anything. And the tax benefits, well, once you file jointly, you can never go back. So you're stuck. So, and I would never file jointly anyway. So I don't quite understand where it comes. But I watch you because it's sort of the way your message comes across, and I appreciate it because I really am. I'm holding on, going. She's gonna one day. She's gonna say something. I'm gonna go. That's it. That's why I need to go find a wife. Okay, cool. Now it's clear to me. Now I can go find a wife. But until then, you're watching a whole bunch of people. I've listened to Anton talk. I've listened to a lot of people talk, and it hasn't clicked for me. This is why you need to get married.
So listen, I'm gonna go back to the beginning of what you said, and you're exactly right, moving the way that you are, in my opinion. And I say that because my husband has always been an entrepreneur. He came into the relationship with a plan. It was not fulfilled, but he's been an entrepreneur. That was always his plan. He sold me on it from the very beginning. But one thing he told me is this: he said, if I wouldn't have met you now, once I became successful, I don't know if I could have met a woman or gotten married, because it's just like what you said. It's that trust issue. Right now, I would say my husband and I trust each other to the max. I mean, we do, because we actually build together. He sold me on his plan of an entrepreneur. I could have worked a job and been just fine. He was like, no, we got to work smart. This is what we're going to do. So I've been pretty much following his plan for our life, our entire 27 years. There has been times in between where I made much more money than his business has ever made. And what I always did was board it back and put it in one pot. Never argued, never thought about it twice, because it was always, we were building together. Now, what is going to have to happen for you in order for you to see the need for a wife is that I definitely think it's a spiritual thing, because you definitely can get sex from anyone. But the one thing that my husband tells me often is that I'm an asset to him. I proved to him that I was an asset. And along with the fact that men who are married are more successful, it kind of goes hand in hand. The love and the nurturing that I give my husband, you cannot pay for.
Dearly beloved.
You can't. You can't pay for it. You can't. All that worldly stuff that we have to contend with, far as the taxes and all that, no. But you are a man that's already made. So a prenuptial agreement would be something that you definitely would have to seek after. I mean, I wouldn't, you got to. But what you're looking for is that woman that is submissive and that is willing to submit to you. So you are looking for a woman of God, whether you're there or not.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily disagree with that.
That's what you're looking for. You're looking for that woman that's willing to submit to that man that has a plan and will to follow you on your plan and to show you love. It's actually real love and respect. And it's sacrificial. It goes beyond physical. It's deeper than that. She's willing to put willing to put you before herself. It's a very sacrificial thing, and can't nobody just do that. You can't pay for it.
No, you're absolutely right. One of my key vetting things is try to find out how selfless she is, And I asked certain questions because one of the 10 dates is to go volunteer. That's one of the 10 free dates. We go and go volunteer somewhere. One of the reasons why I'm constantly at the grocery store is because I still have people that I mentor when I was a police officer. So, but they're out here where I live at. So we meet here, and every once or twice a week, I meet up with 13 and 14-year-old boys, and we just talk. We just shoot the crap. Just let them vent, let them get it out, and then I give advice where advice is needed and whatnot. So that's one of the reasons why you see me here when I stop in. And one of my 10 free dates is for her to go volunteer. One of the reasons why to do that is because I'm trying to see if she's willing to give more of herself than she gets from it. And that's a big deal to me because a lot of the relationships I was in the past, it was always about them and what they could get out of it. What can
Yeah.
I get out of it? What can you do for me? And not about what can you give to the relationship and help build this thing. Because that's my mentality. Once I get into something, even when if it's business, whatever, it's not necessarily it's not about me anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not about me anymore. But I mean, it would be nice to do. But I do also have an issue with the idea that marriage isn't business because I don't see how it's not.
Okay, I'll tell you about that. But let me say hello to my co-host. Hey, black man, take care of that family out there tonight. Thank you for your support. So let me tell you, there are a lot of parts of my marriage that are business. Like I said, my husband and I are entrepreneurs. We're in business together. He's 51%, I'm 49%. This is so true. But the feeling, I'm going to say feeling, or the emotion, the attachment, the covenant, the promise to be with my husband, the commitment, the faithfulness that I have to him is not business in any way. Because if it was business, I would be gone a long time ago. I would have selfishness would have kicked in, and all those years that I made more money, I would have put it in. I'd have had that little separate stash like women do. They say they don't want to let your right hand know what your left hand doing. I would have, conducted myself that way, but I chose not to because my husband is a real husband. He's a real man that is God fearing, and I wanted to be a wife. I really did. So I studied on how to do that. I also studied my husband, which I think a real wife would study men, which would be her husband. It's a book called Power of a Praying Wife, and it has different men in it. And it outlines their personality and how you're supposed to respond to those type men, because you all are different, but y'all are not that different. It's probably about 5 or 10 different personalities of men that we may see. So these are all in the book, and you learn this person, and you start you pray for this person, but you have to have a woman, because this is what you're looking for. You're looking for a woman that has that, because right now that a woman that is highly influenced by social media and all that stuff, that's not going to be the woman that you're going to be with. It's just not. But I, coming up, never was on social media. I never had a social media. I never did Facebook. I never did Instagram. I never did all of that. None of that. I always saw it as a big distraction. It was never something that I did. Now, I'm telling you this because these are some things you need to look for, or these are some questions that you need to ask. Like, what you think about social media? Would you be willing to give that up? If you met a man that, stuff like that. Or to find out if a woman is willing to sacrifice, ask her, are you even interested in being a wife? What does a wife, what does that mean to you? Do you know a wife's role? Because that's what you really want to know. If they know it, that means that they've studied it along the way. If they don't know it and you ask that question, they'd be like, what you mean? She's not the one. Because you are of age. Now, I don't know how old your women are that you're dating, but if a woman wants to be a wife, she knows these type of things because she's researched it. She's figured out how to poise herself, how to have virtue. She knows how to show up that way. And it's not a whole lot of questions. And as far as her being given, if you're a man and you're presenting yourself to me as a husband, having those qualities, sincere, honest, I mean, I got to tell you the truth. That's all it takes. I know the protection and the provision is there because we've already established that. I mean, a woman is going to go for that. A wife she's going to accept it. She's going to be like, okay, he's the one. He's good, and they're going to act accordingly. But if they're not ready to do that, then they're going to miss the whole thing. Like you said, they're going to miss it.
Well, I'll keep trying. I'm only 38. I'm only 38. So, but I do look back and I think, sometimes I feel like I made a mistake by retiring at 35. I look back at it and I'm like, Professionally, yes, it was the best thing for me. I was very happy not having to work anymore. But then I looked at it and I'm like, I had much more success with women when I was working.
Yeah, but what kind of
Much more.
success? Dating? I mean,
No, I was in a relationship. We lived together. We had a child. I mean, I had much more. I had much more success. It was, it was after that relationship didn't make it. It's like, things got a little bit tougher, and now they're even more tough because my schedule is very flexible. You know, what I mean, I can kind of just do whatever I want to do, go wherever I want to go. I was in Ghana 2 weeks ago. What I mean, I just kind of go where you meet women who are working and career women, and they don't have that flexibility. You know what I mean? So
no, they don't. They don't.
I'm not going to give up. Obviously, I'm not going to give up, but I am. I don't want to use the word skeptical, but maybe that's the proper word. But I do tread very lightly, and I am looking for a certain type of woman. Obviously, the woman who wants to be a wife is number one, but how she goes about being a wife, and then there's another part of this is this marriage thing. To me, when I look at a marriage, I think roller coaster. I think valleys and peaks. I don't think you're going to get to the top and then that's it, and you're just going to stay there and you're just going to be great, all the time. I think at some point in time you're going to go through parts where you don't quite like each other, and there are going to times when you can't keep your hands off each other. And I'm ready. I'm fine with going on the ride, but I would want somebody who wants to go on the ride with me and understands that this is a ride, and there's just going to be times where we're just not. And that's one of the things I had a problem with in my previous relationships, where when the things got bad, it was like, I don't need this. I don't
So
need this.
Trey, I
I'm
got to
out.
ask you a question.
Sure.
What business do you know that goes on roller coasters?
All of them.
Give me a business that goes on roller coasters. You think Walmart goes on roller coaster
Yes.
rides?
When
Why would you
Walmart
say
when
that?
when Walmart first started, they did not have the success that they have now.
Of course. But since
And
they've been on the way up, they may not make 5 billion a quarter every quarter, but they still make 3 billion a quarter. How is that a roller coaster? That's just
because to us looking from the outside in, it looks like, well, they still made 3 billion a quarter. But if their projections are 5 billion, they didn't make it. That's a valley.
I mean, I don't know if it is or not. I'm just saying
No,
I
I'm,
don't
I'm just I'm
see.
saying I'm saying from a business standpoint, if my projection is 5 billion a quarter and I only made 3 billion, that's a valley for me because my
Okay.
projection was 5 billion.
So then guess what? If we're making a plan, what would your projection be? And we're a business, because that's what you said. What
Hmm.
would be your projection yearly? Nah, I'm gonna do yearly. Every 5 years for your marriage. I just you may not have a thought about that, but
Yeah,
just
that's
give me an
never even really
idea.
crossed my. I don't know.
See what
I've
I'm
never
saying? You
really.
see why I tell
I've
you
never
it's
just
not a
never really
business.
crossed my mind.
You can't
Yeah.
do that. I mean, I know people, listen, there are some aspects of marriage that is definitely business. I run over that with you, in the taxes and things that you have to do. This is true. But an organic, authentic relationship, things just happen. They just come at you. People may get ill. You may have to travel to Ghana. In-laws may have to move in. Who knows what? That's why I say you can't keep it. It's just not business. The things you sacrifice. I don't know many businesses that are sacrificing either, but sometimes they do have to take a hit to get restarted. I get it. But again, it's just so much more to it to be successful. Just like you said, when something happened, boom, y'all fell apart. You want the type of marriage that sustains. So
Yes.
you got to have something foundation. There has to be something into that foundation that says, look, when we go hit a bump, we're going to just get back up, talk it out, communicate about it, maybe be mad a week, but we're going to continue to move on. And that is just communication from the beginning. Establish that, say just that. Listen, our deal breakers are, or we have no deal breakers,
Okay.
and just stay away from the deal breakers. Just
Okay.
establish everything in that plan up front, because you are an established man. So establish everything up front. Discuss that plan, and it's going to be just like this. That way you can always revert back to what the initial plan was, and you can always see if you're on track.
Got it.
All right.
Appreciate
But
it.
I appreciate you, Stowe. I
Of
appreciate you, though.
course.
And I love the fact that you're at the grocery store.
Well, I was for the kids. It's not for me.
All right.
All right.
Thank you,
All right.
Trey.
Have a good one.
You too. Bye bye. So that was an excellent conversation. I forget, Trey, I forgot to mention something to you, but I'll give it to you next time. But that was good, y'all. I've been here an hour and 30 minutes. If there's no one else that has anything they want to ask me, I think I had some super chats I needed to read a long time ago. Me and Mr. Boss, we gonna work it out, y'all. We ain't gonna forget about you. So Christopher Lee, thank you so much for being here. And I love your support. Thank you so much for your $2 super chat. Said no control over the earthly flesh is the problem. No control over the earthly flesh. You know what though? We're supposed to come subject to that every day. How about that, Christopher? When we gonna get in? Oh Lord, that's another day. I ain't gonna talk about it. Empress, how are you doing? Thank you so much for your $19.99 super chat. Love your content. This is great information for those who want to become wives. Thank you for your wise words and knowledge regarding marriage. Thank you so much for being here, and I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Give me mine. Money line. Give me mine. Yeah.
Dearly beloved.
I bet y'all didn't know that SB could dance back in the day. I used to I used to get it. Yeah, I used to love the club. I told people who have been at SB Nation from the beginning absolutely know I used to go to the club a long time ago. So let me see. Christopher Lee, thank you again. Social media has robbed us of social skills, cut our legs completely off. Cut it completely off. We have no clue, but we got to get back to something because this is not working, y'all. Again, Christopher Lee, thank you so much for your $5 super chat. The young ladies do not like you because when you when you come through on panels, they know that men can tell the difference just by how you carry yourself. Listen, thank you so much for that, Christopher. But listen, I'm just trying to share with them because ultimately these ladies are in relations or relationships with men. So I'm just trying to let them know what men really, really want so they don't have to spend their time being in relations. They can actually have a marriage relationships with one of them. But they tend to think that a man likes you more when you sleep with him. And I'm trying to tell them, y'all, really, that's not what's going on. They may make you think that, but they really don't want to sleep with you. They want to save the good one for marriage and have the bust downs for now. But that's a hard message, isn't it? Joris, let's see. Any advice for marriage that is not religious based? Let me say this. Marriage in itself is religious based. But if you're talking about a union between a man and a woman, I would say the best thing to do is to try to be good people. Again, though, I don't know what would exactly hold it together, besides the fact that you all care about each other. Because when life gets tough, what is going to keep you in that marriage if you don't believe in something, you know? And we said religious based. My theory of that is this is not about a particular religion. My idea is my relationship with God the Father. I concentrate on that relationship and I ask that he lead me. So I don't know if we're talking about the same thing. And, I think we all know who the creator is, but if that's not something that we reverence either, then I would say being good people or being a good person would be the best that you could do. But I have no idea what would hold that relationship together when things got tough, because that's the sticking power is what you want to, walk through. Because I think what happens is if I don't have a belief system in a moment that I'm unhappy or somebody's not doing what I want them to do, I'm out. I ain't got to put up with this. And don't let me have no money. I'm out quicker. So that's why people, in Hollywood, that there's nothing that keeps them together. They got a fire burning for about 5 years. And when that fire burns out, they out, so I hope I answered that question. But again, keep it between you and your wife. Don't allow others to have any power in your relationship. That's what Edward Gilbert says. Edward says, keep it between you and your wife. I'm not sure what it is, but that is a principle of God. When you married, you definitely want to keep your relationship between you and your wife. So, Edward, you just opened my mind to something. You can definitely follow godly principles without referencing or reverencing God. So that's often what we do. Again, that would mean that you're just a high moral person. So, and again, that could possibly work for a time. I don't know if it would keep you for 27 years, but it would work for a time. So I hope I answered that question. If there's no, oh, wait, see, I got another question here. Gerald, hello, how are you? I believe in God. My wife doesn't, and we 11 years together without God help. Really? Okay. I would love to hear from you. Can you give us a little bit when you say without God help? How can you explain to me just a little bit? Can you come up? Because you can help Joris out a little bit and explain to him how you do that without following God. So, because he's asking that question, I am a follower. I have a relationship with God, the creator. I give him credit for all things. So I'm not too much of a help on that, but you would be very helpful if you hit the link and explain that to us, because maybe I can take that information to other people who think just this way you do. So that would be very helpful if you don't mind doing that. Again, if you don't want to cam up, I definitely understand. It's just that was a good, comment that you made. But if there's no one else, I'm gonna give you just a minute. If you believe in God, it means, Tisha, what you saying? Nothing. No, you talking to somebody else. Okay, Tisha, how you doing tonight? But y'all, if y'all don't have any more questions, and if we're going to see and wait if Edward actually comes up, Edward, I would love for you to come up and just tell us a little bit more about that, because I think a lot of people have that. A lot of people have that concern, or share that sentiment. So if you came up and said that, that would make a lot of sense. That would give us a little more direction into what you're trying to say. Because again, I thought, for me, marriage, the concept of marriage is a God-based concept. So participating in it without that, I would love to see how that looks. And you said you didn't give him any credit, so I don't know. I would like to understand how that looks, if you don't mind sharing. But again, if no one else has anything to say, Trey, what you saying? It's interesting he believes but doesn't think God. Trey, you are too smart. You're too smart. Oh, but anyway, I still want to hear, because Trey, a lot of people don't reverence, don't participate in religion per se, and they are married. And I would love to know, who makes the final decisions in the household. I would like to know, do they have a plan of marriage? Who, I would like to know all that stuff, because I know my role as a woman, as far as a wife in a biblical sense. But hello, stranger. It's Snuggles. Snuggles, today is a good day for you. Can you please come up? I would love to meet you today. Edward Gilbert, I know the husband is to submit to God. Wait a minute. I can't. Okay. I know the husband is to submit to God and the wife is to submit to her husband. Okay, Edward, thank you so much for that. Oh, so you're saying you still, okay. I thought you, wait a minute, maybe I'm getting people mixed up. Edward, I thought you were the person that said that you have been married 11 years. Am I getting you confused with the other young man? I'm sorry if I am. But that right there is definitely a godly principle. So I definitely see what you're saying. I think, SB, thanks for giving me some things to think about. Trey, I got you. I got you. So listen, I don't know if y'all know, because most of you all are new to SB Nation right now. But last year, I think it was, me and Mr. Boss actually put on a dating show. It's called I Choose You. We're going to do that again. And all these people that are single, we're going to do it again sometime. So y'all, we loved it. It was hard work, but we loved it. Easy Money Jones says, in a biblical marriage, the man's role is harder than women's, if truly biblical. Most people who claim to have biblical marriages are capping. Well, I don't know about most people. I'm not capping, and you're exactly right. The man's role is the leader. It's actually the man has the hardest job because he's willing to give his life. So you're exactly right. Most women are not going to give their life for their husband. And actually, it's called, a man is to love his wife, and he's more sacrificial. He will not delete himself, but he will die for his wife. He will be the one to jump in front of the bullet. Exactly. He's there for protection. So Easy Money, you're exactly right. This is true. It is. But women are supposed to, in biblical marriages, they're supposed to respect and submit to their husbands. And then two, husbands and wives submit to one another. That's exactly what the Bible says. So I agree with you. But the capping part, I don't know. How would you know if they're capping? Biblical marriages are capping. How do we know? Capping means that they're telling a lie. How do we know if they're capping? That's interesting. Let me see what Snuggles has to say down here. Snuggles, I was about to come up, but wait a minute. I was about to come up. Let me see if I get things clear on my end. By the way, and your culture is cooking and cleaning part of a woman's job. A woman's job. Well, I think everybody has to cook and clean if they are adults and they actually have a home. Don't you have to cook and clean? And why is it my culture? Isn't that everybody's culture? Is there a place you can go where people don't cook and clean? What you talking about, Snuggles? That's it. Why is it? What you talking about? Black people, Snuggles. I done told you about that. Everybody's supposed to cook and clean, Snuggles. That's just a given. It ain't particular culture that does that. But if you ask, and do Black people cook and clean? I hope so, especially when they become an adult. Edward says, I was raised in the church, but a lot of people don't want to hear anything about religion. So I talk to them still using his teachings without them knowing it. You're exactly right. I think I do the same thing. I absolutely do the same thing. You don't want to offend, but I don't speak so much in religion because, there's so many different religions. We have to respect each other on that. Don't you wonder though, Edward, why do people not want to hear about religion? What's so wrong with my belief? It being different from yours. Why we can't just agree to be respectable to each other? And what's wrong with that? Mr. Boss, these flowers smell so good. Why we can't just agree to be respectable to each other and love each other where we are, be a source for each other. I get you though. I do the same thing. But most of the times the things that you say are probably very scripture based. But Snuggles, can you get done doing what you do? Because if you came on SB Nation tonight, I mean, it would be a drop the mic moment. Nat Case production. Hello, how are you? And God is everything. You're exactly right. But guess what? You know that not everyone yet has figured that out. But the day that they do, it would be such a wonderful day, I think, if everyone would to come to that knowledge that that God is everything, or is definitely in everything. So, but maybe not. Joris, okay, listen, he says, I'm African living in America for almost 20 years. Everything I knew about when it comes to relationship is inverted here in America. Inverted. Okay. I'm gonna have to take your word for it. This is a lot that you're putting in the comment section. I would love to have that conversation with you because I would like to know the differences in, another country. That would be good to know because that would help us learn also. But I happen to think that a lot of people in Africa pretty much follow, God. But I would like to hear what you have to say about that. You're just making me ask you more and more questions. And obviously you don't want to call in, but I'm not going to ask you no more questions. You say amen. Amen. You're exactly right. But there's no more anybody else that wants to actually chime in for tonight. It has been an outstanding show. I've been with you all about an hour and 45 minutes. It's been excellent. We're going to do these Let's Talk shows. This is Tuesday, normally my night off. I wanted to spend it with you all. I hope you all just got to know a little bit more about SB and the direction that we're going in. Comment section, you've been excellent tonight. I appreciate you so much. If you have not yet given me a thumbs up, make sure you do so before you leave. Again, tomorrow night is Wednesday night. I'll be on Krew season, 10:30 Eastern. I know it's going to be an outstanding night. We've had a whole week off. So everybody going to be fired up. No, I'm just kidding. It's going to be an outstanding show. Listen, y'all continue to have a good love day. Show somebody that you love them and continue this on. Don't stop just because the 14th ended. And I appreciate y'all so much. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Let's take it back for this started. You want the love, I don't got it. You screaming, stay, please don't go. Don't think it's in me to listen to flow.
It's so different with distance we roam into zones where nothing get hurt anymore. I just wish I was home when I stepped through front door, but instead I'm alone and completely unsure. And even though you're screaming out with the best of intentions, I don't get it. Why do you always gotta ask me to stay? Why you always gotta go? Playing house, this ain't a home with your soul on the road. Say, why you always gotta go? Playing house, this ain't a home with your soul on the road. See, I've been lost in my thoughts, and my thoughts they too scared to usher off. Sorry, Mom, I just thought you were my world. Now you're not. And I'm just sitting, smoking, sloping in the days, cause my days ain't been the same since I drove here away. I remember the way you wrote letters in blue ink. You and me was in love. Think about what your crew think. I know your moms probably think I'm a bastard. Your pops probably want to beat my to death and take a in my casket. But I got sick of fighting, bickering, fussing over nothing, cussing. Instead of watching the death of discussions that we once had, days that we once spent in the backseat of our cars, reading poets at sunset. It's funny how love can fall out the foreground, get pushed into the back of your mind. We used to twist the spliff and laugh and relax. Are you crying? And I'm trying to find the reason, so I ask, does forever ever happen, or is it always fade to black? I can't stay. No, I always gotta go. Playing house, this ain't a home with my soul on the road. I can't stay. No, I always gotta go. Playing house, this ain't a home with my soul